Hello everyone, thank you for joining me today. We are going to be doing another 30 minutes of Pilates mat today. We're going to kick things up a notch, make things a little bit more challenging. We will start with a more beginning to intermediate and then work our way up to advanced. For each exercise, that's going to get challenging. So if you hit a point where the exercise is hard enough for you, it's challenging enough, you can continue to do that movement as we progress on. So you don't have to do every single advancement for every single exercise. Listen to your body, know what feels good. If you have an exercise that's challenging enough, just continue to do that version for the last couple reps. So we will get started here. We're going to lay down on our backs, nothing too crazy, just like how we usually do. Head down, back of the neck is nice and long. I want your feet parallel, so actually start with your feet all the way together, legs too, okay? Then we're going to externally rotate just a small amount, so toes come apart, and then lift the heels and rotate those parallel as well. So you should have this nice space between them, not too big, and feet should be right lined up with your sits bones here. Head down. So we're going to start with some small pelvic movements here. Before we get started, drop the shoulders down, feeling them sinking into the table, and engage your abs. So you don't have to squeeze them super tight. Just make sure that you feel them engaging. Belly button is pulling in, and you have this small puff of air under your low back. Okay, so let's start with some small pelvic movements where you're going to inhale, tuck the pelvis under, tuck it towards you so the low back sinks in, and then rotate it, rolling it back into neutral. Going the opposite direction now, inhale, arch the back, push the pelvis away, and exhale, pull back to neutral. Inhale, tuck under. Exhale, release into neutral. Inhale, press it away. Exhale into neutral. One more time like that. Inhale, tuck it under. I still feel my weight all along my feet and all of my toes. Roll back and arch the back. Push the pelvis away and pull back into center. Okay, so let's add on to this movement. We're going to tuck the pelvis under. Lift those hips up, peeling the spine off the table. Nice long line with the body here. And then roll it back down, articulating through. Keep tucking the pelvis until the very end. And again, inhale under. Exhale, lift up. Nice long line with the body here. Shoulders still opening into the floor. Rolling it back down as you inhale. And exhale to finish the movement here. Arms are going to lift up to the ceiling. We're going to inhale to prepare. Exhale, curl forward, reaching long through those fingers, reaching, lifting the head and chest, and then rolling it back down. You're still tucking the pelvis under. Inhale first. Exhale, curl forward, tuck the pelvis under, lift. Make sure those shoulders aren't creeping up to your ears, right? They're nice and long, shoulders wide, and roll it back down as you inhale. Last time here, exhale, curl forward. We're going to hold here. Keep tucking the pelvis. Lift those arms, keeping the shoulders off the table. Reach the arms nice and long. And lift. And lower those arms for 2. Exhale, reach. Last time here, lift. And reach out. This time the head will release as the arms lift. Pelvis back into neutral. Okay, so this is when we're going to start progressing. So if that was challenging, you can keep the feet on the floor. If you have any sort of like low back issues, you can obviously keep the feet on the floor. Just listen to your body. Arms are going to go up to the ceiling. Legs are in chair position. Now, if you can, take those legs all the way together, squeezing the legs. Okay, so we're going to curl forward, tucking the pelvis under. The thighs are not coming towards me. The knees feel like they're lifting to the ceiling. My low back is flat. And then we release, pelvis in neutral, arms up, head down. Again, curl forward, tuck. Feel the knees lifting. Squeeze the legs together if you can. Reaching through those fingertips. And release. We're going to add those arm movements. Curling forward, tucking under, squeeze the legs together, lift the arms, reach long. See if you can lift higher. Lift and reach long. For 2, keep breathing and reach. Last time here. And reach. Release the arms. Head comes down. All right, we're going to take the hands behind the head. As we go through, if you feel any sort of pulling in the neck, you can lay the head down. You can support the head with your hands. You don't want to build too much tension, so if you're feeling any sort of pulling in the neck, then do some modifications to release that tension. Okay, so now we're curling forward. The back is flat, knees lifting, squeezing the legs together just for a moment here. We're going to start dropping one toe towards the mat. Dropping the foot, lifting it up. Dropping the foot, lifting it up. Drop and lift. Drop and lift. Good, last set here. Okay, now both legs are going to reach. My legs are squeezing together. Reach and squeeze. You're trying to keep that back sinking into the mat as much as you can. Last one here. Lower the head. Give the knees a squeeze. Maybe draw some small circles and reverse. All right, we're going to go into some single leg stretch here. So I want you to crawl forward as long as it feels okay in your head and chest. Okay, and then we're going to reach our left leg nice and long on the table. Taking right hand towards your right ankle. Left hand is coming across and grabbing onto the knee. And I want you to pull so you're lifting nice and high, really engaging into those abs. If you keep your elbows out, it kind of sinks those shoulders back. So that's a good thing to keep focus on as well. Okay, we're going to switch. Keeping the torso nice and stable. Reach and pull. It's slow and controlled. Reach. Now, you don't have to go as low with the leg. It can be a little bit higher depending on your strength. Okay, last time here. Knees in, head comes down. All right, let's just take a little knee sway here, stacking the legs one on top of the other. Arms are reaching out to the sides, swaying the knees off, and then switch. Let's do one more to each side here. Drop those knees, press through that top knee. Make it a little back pop here. That's always nice. And legs back in. Okay, so we are going to work those low abdominals right now. So we're going to do a prep for our roll over. This prep exercise you are welcome to continue to do if you do not feel comfortable taking the legs all the way up and overhead. So let's take those knees into chair position. We are going to cross one ankle over the opposite ankle, okay? Not over the knees, just the ankles are crossed. We're going to externally rotate and lift slightly. So I have this big diamond shape in between my legs, okay? Keeping the legs here for a moment. Arms are pushing into the mat. So we're going to take an inhale first. We're going to exhale, tuck the pelvis, lift the sacrum and tailbone off of the mat. So exhale, roll it back down. Try to control it. Try to keep the head down. We're going to go for 4. Exhale, inhale, release, and 3, and 2, last one. No plopping in my back here. Go ahead, switch. Half extension towards the ceiling, big diamond. We're going for 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, rolling through the spine, last one. Control using those abs. Okay, so you're welcome to keep doing those hip ups, okay? Keep alternating the ankles, doing even amounts on each side. Otherwise, we're going to go ahead and go into our rollover. So, extending the legs up towards the ceiling, small bend in the spine if you have nice tight hamstrings. Okay, we're going to start with a small space between the legs. We're going to inhale, exhale, go all the way up and over with the legs. Okay, I'm hitting my bar here, but keeping the legs parallel to the floor, you might feel a nice big stretch in your back. Take the legs together, flex your feet, pushing through those heels, roll the hips all the way down. Point the toes, take them apart. 2 more. Inhale first, exhale up and over. Moving slowly here, parallel position, flex. Pull the legs together, roll it down. Point apart, last one here. Exhale up and over. Together, flex, roll it down. Okay, now we're going to keep the legs together and point. Whew, hamstrings are a little tight today. Point, inhale first, exhale up and over. Flex your feet, now take them slightly apart. Hold here for a moment, feel the tail starting to sink away from you. Nice stretch in that back. Rolling it down, point together. Exhale up and over. Flex apart, roll it down. Point together, last one, exhale. Flex apart, rolling yourself all the way down. Give your knees a hug. Ooh, that always feels good on your back. Okay, so we are going to go into the 100, and then we are going to roll over. So, should be nice and warm now for our 100. Arms are going to go up to the ceiling. Legs are going to start in chair position. Okay, let's take an inhale. Exhale as we curl forward. Extend those legs if you'd like. Externally rotate. You can mess around with it depending on how low you want those legs. And we're going to start pumping the arms up and down. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale and exhale. 3, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep tucking. And exhale, we're halfway. Inhale, 2. And exhale. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last 2. And exhale, last set. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Knees in, arms up, head down. Open those arms. Drop your feet. Take a knee sway here. 100's hard enough without talking while you do it. Always an extra challenge. Okay, go ahead, switch those knees off. Last time here. Okay, we are going to turn over onto our bellies. Let's start warming up the back with just some regular swans, and then we can step it up a notch, okay? So taking the hands nice and wide, trying to keep the shoulders away from you. Okay, and head is down. Now, if this doesn't feel comfortable dropping the forehead all the way down to the floor, you can lift slightly, that's fine too. Okay, I'm going to extend my feet. So the tops of my feet are touching the mat, shoulders down. Okay, so let's start by just lifting the head and chest, pushing into those elbows, pull the navel towards your spine, and then roll it back down. Again, lift and lower. One more. Lift and lower. Okay, let's step it up a notch. We are going to lift the elbows so that they are just floating right above the mat. And you want to feel yourself pushing the heels of the hands into the mat. Okay, so we're going to lift the head and chest. Same thing. Nice swan here. Okay, now we're going to drop the chest, lift the feet, and press back up. And again, drop the chest, lift back up, pushing the heels of the hands into the table. Elbows are rotated towards the rib cage. Now I'm going to speed things up a little bit. You're welcome to keep going nice and slow. You're only moving as fast as you can while still controlling the movement. Okay, let's add on here. Keep the head and chest lifted. Small tricep dips here. Bend and press. Bend and press. Bring out those triceps. Press the heels of the hands into the mat. We're going for 3. Push and 2. Push, last 1, and rest. Go ahead and lengthen those arms all the way out. Reach the shoulders up to the ears. Relax the feet. And pull them back under. Okay, stacking one hand on top of the other. So you are nice and open with the elbows, and then you're going to take the forehead down to the back of your hand. Okay, now your hands come with you here. Legs are going to stay down. We're lifting the head up. Now we're rotating right elbow to right hip, back to the center, left elbow to left hip, back to the center, lower down. Very challenging exercise here. Other side first. Inhale, lift. Exhale, left elbow to left hip. Inhale to center. Exhale to the right. Inhale to the center. Little lift here. Lower all the way down. Take your hands underneath your shoulders. Push back into a child's pose here. And relax. Okay, let's stretch out our hamstrings a little bit. So we are going to take, well, let's start hip and then hamstring. I changed my mind. So we're going to take the right foot down in front of us. We're going to take our fists or fingertips. If you're flexible, you can go all the way down to your palms. Okay? And then I'm going to move this knee back a little bit. Dropping this left hip forward. And my knee is not going over my toes here. I moved my left knee back so that I can sink the hip down without pushing my right knee too far forward. So if you need to adjust, you can. If the leg down is enough of a stretch, that's fine. If you need a little bit more, lifting the foot helps you drop a little bit deeper. Okay? Hold for another moment here. Then we're going to shift our weight back, extending that right leg. Now, if you feel it when you're up here, that's fine. Otherwise, you can sink yourself back a little bit. Digging the heel into the mat, pulling back on that hamstring a little bit. Depending on how your knee feels, you can always stay up here too. You might get it a little more into the hip if you stay up, which is totally fine. Pulling those toes back. And switch. Right knee is planted, left foot's in front. Make sure it's in front a good amount. Take those hands down. Go ahead, shift that knee back to an appropriate place so that you feel this hip dropping down. My knee is still not going over my toes. And then you can lift that foot behind you if you need a little extra. Dropping the hips, sinking into it. Another moment here, see if you can sink a little bit deeper, opening up that hip. And then we will lift the hips, shifting back. So same thing, extending this leg. You're welcome to sit back, really focusing on that deep hamstring. I'll come up onto my knee in a second here, showing you that other version. So if you're up here, that's totally fine. Dig the heel into it, pulling the hip back. You might feel it a little more along the hip and glute. Pull those toes back. Great little hip opener too. Okay, so let's bring the foot back. We are going to work on some of our planks here and our little push-ups. So let's come onto all fours to start. This is a great way to make sure that you're going to be in the correct plank. Make sure that when you extend your legs, you're still on your mat. So if you need to move yourself towards the front edge of the mat, that's fine. Wrists are underneath your shoulders. Now, you want your hands to be pretty narrow. Okay, we're not going wide like if you were doing like a chest push-up. They're nice and narrow. We're going to extend one leg first. Feel yourself planted, hips squared, and then we're just going to lift the opposite. We're going to hold here, belly in, shoulders down so those lats are engaged. You should feel this in your abs, arms, obliques. Maybe your glutes are firing up a little bit. And then we're going to drop one knee under and other knee returns. Okay, this is the progression stuff I was talking about. So if holding your plank just like that is hard enough, continue to do that movement. Otherwise, we are going to add on. Extending one leg. Typically, you're going to extend your dominant leg first, and then you're going to lift up opposite, okay? So if you feel comfortable, we are going to point the toes, shift the weight over your hands, and then pull back through the heels. Shifting the weight, belly in, forward, and back. For 3, and 2, last 1, pull it back. Let's bring one knee under and opposite knee. Sit up for just a moment. Roll out those wrists if you need to. Okay, a little more challenge. So if that exercise, moving forward with both feet, was enough for you, continue that movement. Keep doing everything with us. If you're just holding the plank, that's fine too. These exercises can get a little bit harsh on the wrists. So let's add on. Extending one leg, opposite leg to meet it. So you're in your plank right now. We're going to hover our right foot off the mat and point the toe. Flexing back first, shifting forward. Flexing back, pointing forward. For 2, last 1. Return the foot, drop to the knees. Rest for just a moment. We'll move on to the other side. For these ones, to be honest, my hands felt a little bit far forward. I wanted to get a little more movement. So if you need to adjust where your hands were placed, you can. I'm going to take my hands a little bit deeper underneath me and then extend. Okay? So let's take that left foot off, point the foot, hover right above the mat, flex, pull back, point forward. Flex back, point forward. For 2, keep breathing. Last 1 here. Plant the foot, drop to the knees, sit it back. Roll out those wrists a little bit. Okay, so we are going to go into a little tricep exercise here. Starting in our plank, we won't push back up right away. We will just drop and then push back into child's pose. Okay, and then we will make it more advanced. So we're going to start in our plank position, just like we were. Bringing one foot back and the opposite. We should all be used to that by now. Okay, so rotating the elbows towards the rib cage, dropping and hovering right above the floor, sinking down, pushing back. Again, all fours, up into plank, sink it down, hold, drop, child's pose. We're going to do one more. All fours. If you pop back up, you should be right in that plank position. Extend, extend, hover, sink, and back. Okay, so we're going to go into a tricep push-up now. If you have very strong arms, you might be able to sink down just as far and push back up. However, most of us, myself included, I am not able to drop quite as far down and push back up. So that is one of my goals. I will get there eventually. So sink down as far as you can with still being able to press yourself back up. All right, so let's come back into that plank position. Maybe your first one, take it a little easy just to feel it out, okay? So dropping back, pushing up. Dropping the elbows back, pushing up. Doesn't have to be huge. Last time here, drop, push up, drop to the knees, and rest it back. Okay, so we're gonna do some roll downs here, working the abs one more time before we end our class today. So why don't we come seated? It's a little different because I'm on my table and not my mat, but if you're on a mat, toes lined up to the front edge is a beautiful place to be, so that you have plenty of room behind you to roll down. You don't want to be on a wood floor and then not hit your mat. So starting nice and tall, take your hands behind your thighs and give your back a little bit of a lift here. Okay? Back is flat, chest is lifted, shoulders are down. Try to keep that position in the spine as you extend the arms out in front of you. So we're going to roll down, tucking the pelvis, articulating down as low as you can, whoop, and then rolling it back up. Again, lift. You need to pull on your knees, that's fine. Roll it down, sinking the tail. Try not to let your feet lift. I did better that time. Lift the spine. One more time. Rolling it back, sinking the pelvis, and lifting up. Pop that back nice and flat. All right, extend your legs nice and long. We're going to lift the arms overhead. I want you to think of over-exaggerating the chest forward here to open up the chest a little bit. Back is nice and long. My toes are pointed. We are going to roll it back. Tucking the pelvis, dropping the arms and shoulders, sinking back until the low back touches. We're going to lift back up, lengthen the spine, flex your feet, dive over. You're not collapsing to your thighs. Think of rounding, reaching through the crown of the head and the fingertips. Flex those feet. Stack it up, point your toes, over-exaggerate that chest. And rolling back. Sinking into the low back, reaching through the fingers, lift. Rolling up. Extend, flex the feet, dive over. My rib cage is pulling back as my head is reaching forward. Point the toes. Back in that tall position with the spine. Last time here, sink it back, reach, and relax. Arms are going to go all the way overhead. Okay, so I want you to take a butterfly position with the legs. Soles of the feet are together, knees are opening out to the side of the room. Opening those knees. Good. Now add a little arch. Feel like the tucking the pelvis under. Tailbone is lifting slightly so you can really open those legs. Sinking the shoulders. Good. Go ahead, lengthen the legs out. Shake them out a little bit. Plant your feet nice and wide. And we're just going to sway the knees off to one side. You can extend your arms if you'd like. Sway the knees off to the other. And I'm thinking of rotating my ribs almost so that they are flat and still pointing up to the ceiling as my hips and knees sway. So you're getting some rotation. Okay, so as my knees drop to the right, my left ribs are reaching towards the floor still. They're obviously not connected, but that's the feeling that you want to get, is that you're trying to rotate them back. Other side, so my legs are to the left, my right ribs are still reaching the opposite direction. Nice rotation here. And back. Give your knees a hug, and I want you to rock yourself up to a seated position. Okay, I'm going to come to the floor because if I stand up, you guys won't be able to see me. But go ahead, take a stand on your mat. We're gonna end with some roll downs here. Inhale as the arms come up and over. Exhale as you dive forward, rolling the spine all the way down. Try to keep yourself off the floor a little bit because we are gonna rotate. So we don't wanna like sink all the way down. And then roll it up. And release. One more, we're gonna add on to this one. Inhale as the arms reach up. Exhale as you scoop out the belly, rolling it down, ribs reaching to the ceiling. Keep yourself off the floor a little bit here. Drawing some small circles with the arms, feeling the shoulders dropping towards the floor. That's why you want a little bit of room here. And then reverse. I'm curling my fingers so that I'm not dangling and touching the floor. And keep feeling those shoulders releasing. Go ahead, let the head hang. Arms are going to stay relaxed this time as we start rolling the spine all the way up. Shoulders sinking away. Head on top. Okay, so we're going to inhale as we lift those arms up and over. Palms are going to face the outsides of the room, so my back of my hands are rotated in. And as you exhale, I want you to push that air away. Spread those fingers. Feel like you're growing taller. Crown of the head reaching to the ceiling. Shoulders reaching towards the floor. One more like that. Inhale up and over. Exhale, push the air away. Reach with the crown of the head. Shoulders sinking towards the floor. One breath here. Inhaling through your nose. And exhaling out of your mouth. You are finished for today. Beautiful job.